Oh, so who are you?
I'm Malcolm, CMO of Frat. We had an interview today, right? Am I in the wrong place? I might be in the wrong place. This is the right place, right?
Oh yeah, Malcolm. Yeah, sorry about that. So do you have any experience in the industry? Or?
I worked in the warehouse of a screen printing company for like 6 months, but other than that, no.
My name is Noah Gladen-Kolarsky. I am the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer at Frat. We're a clothing brand that specializes in sarcastic, witty, dark humor.
Okay, so we're here with CFO Leif, CFO of Frat, and yeah, is there anything you wanna say to the people to start off?
Yes, I do have something to say, Danny. I am CEO, not CFO, of Frat, the company that makes the coolest, the most stylish, and the most funny humor on any clothing ever. We are dedicated towards the people of the internet, meme culture. That's what we're all about. Everyone hates this plague, so do I. Our lives all suck. But you know what? You can suck less with Frat.
Whoa. Okay. So what do you mean by internet culture? Like MySpace or I don't really
I
like.
can't believe you would say that. Like, how old are you, dude? All right, we're not talking MySpace. All right, we're talking Reddit. We're talking 4chan. We're talking random forums on the internet. We're talking Instagram, maybe some Snapchat. But that's a little mainstream for us, you know. We're mainly on those more niche communities, right. And our style of humor, it's dark, it's edgy. Like, we are here to appeal to the people that want to have edgy memes on their shirts, but they don't want to look like idiots when they do it. That's the point of Frat, Danny.
Okay, so the name Playgrat Frat, where did you come up with that?
So we were just kind of sitting around in our house, and I made a joke about calling people who don't wear their masks or wear their masks incorrectly, calling them playgrads. And we were joking about that. And then our housemate Joe said that he'd actually enjoy being called a playgrad. I think his exact words were, "I'd rep that." Um, so after that, we kind of started playing around with the idea, and we added frat onto the end because it rhymed, and we felt like it really captured our ironic humor and our willingness to do things just to be funny and not really have them mean anything.
Okay, so are you really a frat or like what?
Yeah, actually, we have chapters on the University of Denver and Southern Methodist University. We're actually opening up our Ohio State chapter this year, so Ohio State freshmen, be on the lookout for our rush schedule. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We don't actually identify as a frat. It's just something that rhymes, and it again adds to the culture, adds to our brand.
So what are you trying to accomplish? Like what's your mission statement? How does it fit like into the market?
So we designed the Frat brand in the middle of the pandemic, with kind of the goal of bringing people together and creating a community around kind of a dark, satirical, topical humor, and creating this community base around our clothing line in order to bring people together, really, and bond over humor.
Okay, so what's the humor about? Like what message are you trying to send?
It's a great question, Danny. I finally get a great question. Anyway, the point of our humor is to bring people a little bit of happiness in times of great sorrow. So right now we are living in a pandemic where millions of people are dying because there are stupid people out there that don't want to help them. Cough, cough. Anyway, the point of our humor is that we want to bring some light to that. We want to be able to laugh through all the nasty stuff that's happening in the world. We just want to be able to make fun of it, and we want to be able to have a good time regardless. Because you know what? Life is always crappy. Life is always crappy for people. It's always been that way. And if we can just spread a little bit of joy, bring joy into people's lives, I think we're doing a good thing.
So who actually wants to buy this stuff?
Everyone, dude. but not just everyone, the people that are unique, the people that are on the internet all the time. These people are into counterculture. They might be hip hop heads. They might be into punk music, but really a member of Frat is confident in themselves. They're confident that they can wear whatever they want to wear, and they choose their wardrobe based on what they like, what they want to wear, instead of what they think is going to impress other people and what costs a lot of money.
So our vision for our target market is people in their early 20s, people who engage with the internet a lot and are familiar with meme culture, internet culture, and fads, who have an interest in streetwear and have an interest in stylish clothing.
Okay, so like, who are your competitors or whatever?
So some of the brands that we've identified as having a similar attention-grabbing aesthetic are Antisocial Social Club, Thrasher, Obey, Vans, even brands like Deathwater, where there's a humorous appeal that's intended to sell the product, is definitely more on par with what we're going with.
Is anyone else trying to do your blend of like style and humor?
To our knowledge, no. We know a lot of companies that are trying to do the style and really focus on the style. Off the top of my head, Young and Reckless, Santa Clara, Volcom, Vans, and Ethnic all try to do this style, but they tend to take a more serious approach to it and really focus on making the shirt look good, but not really having much of a message behind that. There's companies out there like Snore Tees that are really focused on the humor aspect and the dry, edgy, cutting humor that we're going for. But they tend to do it in more muted styles, muted colors that kind of fade into the background and fade into each other on the shirt. If someone was wearing a Young and Reckless and a Snore Tees shirt next to each other, just because of the colors, your eyes would naturally go to the person wearing the Young and Reckless shirt. We want to drag your attention to our shirts, but still have that humorous aspect to it.
So there's a lot of companies in the clothing industry. What makes you different from the rest of them?
I can't believe that isn't obvious by now. Frat, we're here to make accessible, unique clothing that's stylish and funny. And that is something that I don't think any other company is doing right now to the extent that we're going to do. And here's the thing. No one wants to spend $5,000 on a sweater unless they're a millionaire, right? You know, no one wants to wear that Gucci sweater. It's super ugly anyway. No, people want to wear edgy, fresh stuff that doesn't break the bank and isn't super exclusive. I can think of a certain brand, red background, white text, that only sells like a little bit of their clothes. No, we want everyone to get in on the fun of Frat. That's what it's all about. Community.
So now on to like some bigger picture questions. So where do you see your company going in the future, and how do you survive in a post-pandemic world?
Well, Danny, let's be real. Pandemic or not, life kind of sucks. People are always going to find something to complain about. Animated satire has been around since the 80s, and that's because people are always find something to complain about in life, and they always have something to poke fun at. Our brand will just switch from being about the pandemic to being about other issues in life and other things people struggle with. As for our future plan, we have a couple of designs that we're working on and producing right now. We're going to get clothing lines out for those really soon. But beyond that, we're really in more of a drive a car mindset than fly a rocket ship. We don't have some big 5-year plan for what we want to do. We just want to make people laugh, and if our clothing's able to do that, we're going to keep producing our clothing.
Obviously, there's a lot of big players in the game, and it's hard for a startup company like ours to really get their foot in and get that brand recognition. At the moment, we're trying to find a good balance between the quality of our clothes and pricing, which involves finding a good manufacturer. But at the moment, because our sales are in such small volumes, it's pretty easy to maintain a stock of product and wait until it gets sold in order to buy more. And the risk of holding a lot of clothes at once is pretty low. They don't like expire or anything. So it's easy to keep a stock and constantly be refilling our inventory.
So like, why are you doing this? Is it just like fun? You actually think this is gonna like be successful? Like what?
I'm actually really super passionate about the idea. I've been into street style for a while now. I actually really love your outfit today. It's super clean. Yeah, it's clean. But I'm super into streetwear. I love dressing up and looking good. And then I also really like making people laugh and finding ways to make jokes, be funny. Not really so much be the center of attention, but make everyone have a good time. And I feel like this brand's really trying to blend those two passions of mine. So I'm super passionate about that and want to make it happen.
So, what are your plans for the future?
I can't believe you would ask such a vague question like that. What do you mean by the future? A week from now, a month from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Plague Frat's just going. We're going, man. Man, screw this. I'm done with this interview. This interview. This shit. I'm out.
So, what problems do you see in the not so distant future?
Well, the clothing industry as a whole is actually a really secure market to be in. Obviously, the competition is really fierce, but we really aren't too worried about any government outlawing shirts in the not too distant future. Beyond that, as long as we can keep our prices low and competitive, we feel like people are still going to need to buy shirts, even if there is an economic downturn. And as long as they can afford our shirts and like our shirts, they're still going to buy our shirts. We want to stay up to date on social trends. That's really critical for us. But the biggest change we see coming to the industry in the not too distant future is technological developments that'll allow for more environmentally friendly materials to be used in shirts, which will apply to more environmentally conscious consumers and maybe affect their decision-making process when they go into the shirt market.